Welcome, everyone. Today we have Corinne Summers here to talk to us about finding our purpose. If at any time during our discussion you have a question or would like to share about your experience, please do. We really love to interact with you. And you can do that by raising your hand, and that will let you chat via audio. Or you can type a question into the Q&A box or chat with us in the chat box, and that will allow you to chat to other attendees as well. And if you're joining us on YouTube, you can download the app meditation.live in your app store of choice. Welcome, Corinne.
Hello. Hope everybody's doing well today. Great to be here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking about purpose with you today. It's a big one. And I thought we would start by discussing what exactly purpose is. I think it's a word we hear spoken about a lot, but it would be great to have your ideas about what it means.
Yes, of course. We were talking about this a little bit in our class, a discussion after this morning's affirmations class. But purpose can mean something a little bit different for everybody. I like to point out, our purpose in life, which, yes, we all have one, no matter who you are, no matter what you might feel in the place you are in your life today. You do have a purpose and a reason for being here, something that your value that you're meant to provide and create in this world. But I think we often get caught up in thinking that it has to be aligned to our job and what we're doing in our career. And for folks who have a 9 to 5, sometimes, we don't feel very connected to what you're doing in the day in and day out. And I just like to say that that's okay. Not everybody's purpose may be directly aligned to what you're doing in your day-to-day job. This is why it's so important to take some time to really think about what drives you, what you're passionate about, what lifts you up in life. It may be your family and your relationships that you have, the friendships, the family relationships, being a parent, taking care of a loved one or other people in your life. It may be connected to travel or a hobby that you have. So it can really vary from person to person.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good to know that it doesn't just have to come from our career. I see there's a raised hand, so I'm going to allow Isan, if you'd like to ask a question, you should be able to unmute yourself. I'll give you a second to see if there's any tech issues there. And if that was an accidental hand raise, that's okay too. Okay, so
happens sometimes.
Yeah, so you've told us what our purpose might be, but how do we know if we found our purpose? Like, do we just wake up one morning and
you know? I think when you come across things that you really care about. I know, for me, this, what I'm doing in my life today is absolutely my purpose and what I feel I am meant to be doing, that I'm meant to be sharing this knowledge and these tools for well-being that have helped me so much in my life. It's become truly my mission in life to help others find more ease of being. But that wasn't always the case. And, I spent 10 years working in financial services, and I was really unhappy in my day-to-day in my job. And I found yoga and meditation and started as a hobby and something that I was avidly doing for fun. Back in, 2008, 2009 is when I started my own practice. And then in 2011 to 2012, I went and I took a trip where I explored and started, digging further into these passions, into these things that, I was feeling really connected to and like were really driving me and, engaging my mind in multiple different ways. It was engaging my spirit and my joys, and from a heart-centered place, it was also engaging my mind from a learning and growth perspective. So I continued on my path and, got certifications, and I kept working in financial services as a wealth manager for years and years. I did that part-time and did this part-time, and eventually, changed my career fully about 4 years ago. But just as a little kind of personal story about how this might go in your own life too, as you dive into things that you care about, things that you enjoy doing, that lift you up and spark those little areas in you of your passions, your joys, mental stimulation and growth. It takes you on this little trail that you can kind of start to develop. And when you reach the things that create that reaction in you know it. We all have things. I mean, Kat, what are some things that you enjoy doing? And for the rest of you on here, I'd love to hear in the chat box. And what are the things that make you really excited
Yeah, I
about
think
being alive?
it's a great example hearing your story. It's kind of like you just kept chasing your curiosity. And I mean, I'm curious about all sorts of things, but it's always fun to like allow yourself to kind of go down those rabbit holes, because you never know where they're going to lead. Even if it starts as a
Absolutely.
hobby.
I love that curiosity. It was bringing back, I think I had gotten to a point in my life in such a young age, I felt stale, I felt stuck, and was, very unhappy. And, these were things that did spark my curiosity and got me excited about living my life again. So follow the trail. Those are the clues. When you feel excited, we all know this feeling. It's, the heart, when your heart feels expansive, that little bit of warm fuzziness, like we might feel in a gratitude meditation, or when we're expressing gratitude for something in our life, or we're feeling really empowered. When you have those moments where you experience something and you feel in awe of your ability to be in that moment. This is what we want to chase.
For sure. I'm just wondering if meditation can help us with finding our purpose, because I know that for me, when I'm not taking that time to get quiet, that those, I guess those intuitions, the thing that says, oh, I think you should Google that or watch that YouTube video, then I think to have that space is really important. And I'm just wondering if maybe we could practice a meditation.
Yeah, absolutely. I see Julie here too, just said that her word is positivity, and I really like that. It could be, I like that you used a single word there, positivity. Having, flowing with more ease or more positivity through your day to day could also, be a purpose or something that you align yourself with as a value or something that drives you in your life. All right, so let's go ahead and move into our meditation position. Taking a moment here to make yourselves comfortable. Sitting up tall to find some length through the spine. Relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. And closing your eyes to take that shift inward. Bring all of your attention to your breath. Letting your breath flow gently in and out through your body. Flowing in a way that's peaceful and relaxing to you, without having to force or control anything. Your breath flowing gently in and gently out. Take a moment and bring all of your attention to the way that breath feels as it flows through the chest, through the belly, allowing your body to expand and relax. Expand and relax. As you continue to breathe at this gentle pace, start to imagine a bit of warmth around your heart center, feeling your heart and chest expand with each breath, drawing that new energy into your body. Bringing to mind something in your life that really lifts you up and makes you excited, makes you and feel incredibly grateful. Pick just one thing to focus your attention on, something that comes easily to mind, something that's easy for you to focus on in your enjoyment. As you hold your attention on your gratitude, continue to encourage those feelings of heart-centeredness to grow and expand, allowing that glowing energy around the heart to begin to radiate through you as you continue to reflect on this thing that brings you so much joy. Allow it to consume you, powerfully filling your body with that radiant energy. Stay present here for just a few more moments. Now notice if your mind has wandered to some outside thought or distraction. Take a moment to breathe it out and let it go. And come back to that item of joy, of gratitude that you chose for this meditation. Think of it one more time. Let it light you up from the inside out. Smile. Feel your connection to it fully in this moment. And then as we begin to exit our practice, take one more big breath out and exhale to release and let go as we start to make our way back to the room, moving in your physical body, taking some deeper breaths to expand back into the physical space surrounding you, and then opening your eyes whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Corinne. Something that that came to me, something you said about energizing us, and that really made me realize how a purpose has that energizing quality. You know, it's a question that I sometimes ask myself: is this energizing or not? And that's usually a good indication that I'm onto something.
Absolutely. I love that. Yes, energy, lifting you up, lighting you up. energizing you from the inside out. But there are lots of different ways meditation can help you get closer to defining and figuring out what your purpose might be. So the things that come to you in a meditation like the one that we just did, every time you do a gratitude or some kind of loving kindness meditation, a different thing might come to mind. Or maybe you find that same thing or something that comes more often. Or when you stop to think about a gratitude practice, I highly recommend, this is one practice you can take away today. Write down 3 gratitudes every day. See what the most common things are. This is another way we can look at those clues and follow our joys and the things that we're most grateful for in our lives, to creating more purpose and more passion. So you start to notice in meditation practice, what's coming up for me? What are the things that are coming up that are positive, that lift me up, that energize me, that when I think about them or I bring that emotion or that idea or that thought to mind, because you're also noticing in meditation what you're thinking about the most. You notice how many times your mind wanders. Every time you notice what it drifts to, pay attention. That's part of this practice too. The goal is to learn how to release thoughts and come back to stillness. But part of it is also noticing, where did I go? What am I going to the most? Where are the negative things that I'm going to the most? Those are usually our problems, our challenges, where our deep rooted issues are that we have to dig up and dig out to really connect to our purpose. Because that's part of this too. We got to dig in and do some inner work often to really find and own that power, own our inner light. And then the other thing that often comes up the most are the things that drive us, the things that excite us, why we're here, the things that we're really, really connected to, that give you that light bulb, energizing feeling you mentioned, Kat. So that's, to me, how meditation really helps overall. All the practices have every practice is a little bit of a different technique. But they're all going to drive you to that same self-discovery.
Something that I was just wondering if you ever have clients who ask you about this, but when you have doubts about your purpose, like you're pretty sure that you found it, but let's say you start comparing it to what other people are doing, and then you kind of have doubts because maybe it doesn't look the same as what somebody else, and in fact, it's probably going to be quite different, or maybe it feels too small, or like all of these, I don't know. It's like comparisonitis or something, but for purpose.
Yes. Well, to be honest, I try not to compare myself to others. This is something I've really worked on over the years, but, social media and our constant presence in the highlight reel of other people's lives makes it very easy to get caught up in those distractions. But for me, I wouldn't be successful or be sitting here in front of you where I am today if I let myself get caught up in what other people are doing. Purpose is here. It's out of the head. That's in the head. When we're comparing, we're distracting ourselves with useless thoughts, wasteful thoughts. Just, you're spending your time worrying about something that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what other people are doing. A million people could be doing the same as you. They still wouldn't be doing it the same as you. You still have something very unique to offer. And that's why we go inward, not outward, when we're discovering our purpose and when we're looking for our meaning in life. It's always here. You already know. You already have it there. The seeds are already planted. It's already in there. It just might be buried under a lot of stuff. So that's why we shut out, we get off social media, we tech block, we digital detox, we get away from those distractions, because that's all those are distractions from what you're really meant to be doing. And I want to bring up family here too, because this is another big one that comes up when we're talking about purpose. The family reel. So we've got our social media highlight reel, and then we've got our family reel. What your family, what your parents, the important people in your life, maybe even some of your mentors are telling you that you're supposed to be doing, or telling you what your life is meant to look like. And a lot of times that also is, those are your challenges maybe, and things that you might have to fight through or work through to get closer to your purpose or your passion. But it is important to disconnect from the ideas, thoughts, and opinions of others and what they want for you in some respect when we're going after our true meaning in life.
Thank you, Karine. I'm really glad you touched on that. It can definitely derail us, and even if people mean well, um, it can derail us. There's a great question here in the Q&A box. How is passion different from purpose?
That's a great question. Passion and purpose are definitely used a little bit interchangeably too. It's like affirmations and mantras. There's certain words that we use a little bit interchangeably. I would say, passion is really anything that makes you excited, or you can be passionate about a lot of different things. You can have energy and excitement about a lot of different things in your life. Lots of different hobbies. I know I have lots of different hobbies and things I enjoy doing. I like to travel. I like to spend time with family and friends. I like to cook. Those are all my passions. My purpose is the value and the meaning that I feel I'm meant to bring into the world around me. So more of what my talents, my unique abilities. So getting back, this is another area that we talk about a lot when I'm working with one-on-one clients. Too much to get into in one short call, but I'll drip on it lightly. Unique abilities. We all have unique abilities. We all have skills and things that we're really good at doing better than maybe other people. And this is the other thing that sometimes takes a little bit of effort to figure out, because you may have unique abilities that you haven't discovered yet because you've been doing things that weren't able to bring that out, or you didn't follow enough of your passions to reach that little nugget of your purpose. So I think our passions lead us to our purpose, but you may have lots and lots of passions. We have one core primary purpose, I believe, to fulfill as individuals in our lives. If that makes sense.
Great. Yeah, it completely does.
What do you think? What do you guys think? I'd love to hear from the audience too. You guys are quiet today.
What's everyone passionate about? And for me, I know that
passions excited.
They can change, can't they? Passions. But maybe our purpose is something that's a bit more stable. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I know that was another direction you had kind of alluded to earlier in one of your earlier questions. Does it change? And we went a different direction with it. So I'll go back to that. It can change. I think it can totally change. We have, like I said, I believe one core mission or purpose, but that might look like a couple of different things as we move along our path and as we grow. I know for me, this is absolutely what I'm meant to be doing, but the way that I'm doing it, the way it's playing out, may take lots of different forms as I move through the rest of my career and the rest of my time here. I see we have some chats too, so I'm going to pause while we get to these messages.
Yep, Julie says that she's passionate about building businesses for good, doggies and cooking. Awesome purposes there and passions there. There's a question here from Stefan. When are we using the idea of purpose as a means of oppressing ourselves or losing contact with the present moment? For example, how can I be wasting my time doing the dishes when I should be running a charity? So I guess it's this idea that if we're too focused on our purpose, that maybe we aren't in the present moment enough.
Well, that's a great question. I really like the point that you brought up here. And this is, people ask this a lot, like it's really about the balance. How do we find balance? And as humans, I think our tendencies sometimes can be to get a little bit carried away in an extreme, or putting all of our energy into one thing over the other. When we get in a train of thought or onto something, sometimes we can take it too far. And it's about finding that balance. We still have to live in the real world. Even when you're starting a business or running an empire, starting a startup, it doesn't matter how big the size of the business. You talk to any CEO and, multimillionaire, people running multiple businesses, etc. They all take time for themselves and to live, invest, and do things in the real world, spend time being present in the real world. They all have chores to do at home, families to take care of. spending times with family, friends, and loved ones. So I hope that answers the question. And, if you want to come online, I'd love to chat with you a little bit about it further. But I think this always comes back to really just, allowing yourself to find balance.
It's all part of it, isn't it? And Eric says that he's always passionate about self-development and never doubting yourself. Love that.
Yes, you will always be in that learning growth mindset and have excitement in your life with that.
So unless there are any other questions or comments, I think we're just about at the end of our session today. Corinne, would you like to close us out?
Yep, let's go ahead and do that. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining us today, for bringing your questions, your feedback. Let's take one last moment and close out our class by bringing our hands together at our hearts into Namaste, an ancient way of honoring ourselves and each other. Closing your eyes for one last moment to tell yourself thank you, expressing a little heartfelt gratitude for you today, for taking this time to learn and to grow. And namaste. Thanks again, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys back here again soon. Have a great week.